Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Dan Salem with Bud and Phil, you from Section 323 podcast here on BuzzChomp. We're going to talk NFL Week 11, our three-man booth. Only one of our teams played this week, and they won, so that's good. The playoffs are approaching, so there's lots to debate. A couple of major quarterback injuries seem to always happen this time late in the season. How are you guys? What's up? What's up?
How did you spend your bye week?
Oh, I watched the Red Zone channel and followed my fantasy players, so it was fun.
I don't get Red Zone, so
so I have the DirecTV Sunday ticket, and since they had an error or something, they gave it to everybody for free. So
nice.
Sure.
I stream TV like Phil does. Phil pays for the.
It's worth the extra $10 a month. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just bought a house.
Yeah, I want to get rid of DirecTV so bad, but then I won't be able to watch the Jets, and so I keep paying.
Well, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to do
Right.
that. I would do the same thing if I lived out in California.
If you can stream DirecTV now.
Yeah, but you still have to pay for the Sunday ticket package
Oh, do you?
if you want to watch the teams.
That's how they get you.
See, if the Jets were good enough, they'd be one of the free games that Yahoo's offering now or something, but they're not.
Or they'd always be the game of the week on CBS or Fox.
But they're not.
But they're not.
So I get to double suffer in the wallet and then in the lost column. So
The franchise is going to play on Thursday. 6 years to the day of the butt fumble.
is he going to actually? You think he's going to see the field, or he's just a backup?
Well, he's just backing up, but
Is it really 6 years to the day?
If you were Washington, you're in first place in the division.
Not for long. Not for long.
Not for long, but you're still sitting in first place in the division. You're still going to have. Obviously, they feel like Mark Sanchez gives them the better option of the other 5 quarterbacks that they tried out yesterday. So, I guess he has some sort of connection with the offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach or something like that. I don't know. There was a comfort factor I read.
Well,
So
Colt McCoy's got a real comfort factor there too, which is why he didn't look too shabby when he came in last week. I don't know. When we wrote about the NFC East, I still think the Redskins got the leg up because they have the easiest schedule. They play them 4 division games. So do the Eagles, but
have they played Jacksonville?
I think.
Whoa. Washington?
Yeah.
They played them like 3 weeks ago, and they should have won that game, but they didn't. Now, don't forget, Washington's lost 2 linemen, 2 offensive tackles. They've lost Paul Richardson, and now they lost their quarterback. You can only withstand so much. This is the last week you're going to be in first place.
So they get to play the Eagles twice.
Yeah, which boy, the Eagles, oh my God.
Well, the Eagles are worse, and they play the Cowboys and the Giants, and they play Tennessee, and they play Jacksonville. I think that they probably split with Philadelphia, but none of those teams scare me if I'm Washington.
Philadelphia's got some major issues. I played Wentz in my fantasy league this week, thinking, well, against a weak New Orleans secondary, right?
Not even weak. You figured he had to throw the ball.
Points.
Yeah, and you figured he was going to be behind the whole game, so he'd have to be throwing. But
right, and he couldn't do
3 interceptions was the problem.
Well, he didn't throw for many yards either.
Well, Mahomes threw 3 interceptions and fumbled the ball twice, but he still had 40 points in fantasy. So
Can we briefly, before we get into the Giants game, can we talk about that game last night?
Oh man.
I texted Bud about, I don't know, what was it, 11:30? I said, I'm actually praying for overtime. I didn't want the game to end. That was
the craziest game. It was so entertaining. And Lori has no interest in football. She could care less, but she was a champ. She sat there on the couch with me. And I'm talking to Phil watching football, and she's sitting next to me. And all I keep saying is, this is insane.
So do you like these 50 points a piece games? This is kind of where we're heading. Fantasy numbers are huge, way up this season.
Yeah, but you know what? It lived up to the hype. I don't think any game is ever going to be like that.
It was the third highest scoring.
50 points.
Yeah, it was the third highest scoring combined game in NFL history yesterday.
Yeah. It's the first time in NFL history that 2 teams have scored over 50 points in the same game. And the first time anybody who's ever scored 50 points in a game has lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was back and forth. I mean, anyone who had so I went into that game last night. I think I was down 20-something points. I ended up winning by like 60 because I had Mahomes and Hunt. It's just
wow.
I didn't even have to sweat that one. I don't think anyone that was down that had anybody going last night lost. I mean, everyone produced.
So
I almost 40 points.
Yeah. Well, I faced Goff, and he scored almost 40, but I was up by a lot. So I
think Mahomes himself put up 50-something, but I mean, 6 touchdowns. Yeah, the 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. So it could have been almost 70 that he put up if he was clean. But that was.
I don't know how we scored in our league. He only scored 40 points in our league, but like I was watching. So.
Yeah, every league's a little different, but it was like Bud said, it was the most entertaining game I've ever seen.
I gotta say, I want that to be the Super Bowl matchup.
I think. How can it not be? Who's gonna keep up with either one of those teams on offense? Maybe the Saints.
Well, the Saints have beat the Rams, and the Patriots have beat the Chiefs. So
if the Patriots play the Chiefs again, they're not beating them. They're not. If it's in the playoff AFC champ, it may not be. Maybe it'll be in the division round because
if there was 5 more minutes in that game, there probably could have been another 20 points scored.
Yeah, that's why I was rooting for overtime. I wanted to see a little more.
He had no option. I mean, he only had 20 seconds left in the game. He had to chuck it up. I mean, he threw that ball 60 yards. Easy.
I saw. I don't know if it was a one of those not PTI, but like first take questions, and the little headline was, "Did Mahomes lose the MVP race last night?" I'm like, how do you even ask that question? That's impossible. Huh?
He threw 6 touchdowns and only had like 15 incompletes.
No, but I'm saying that was the question.
He had 5 turnovers and they lost. So it's like it's a silly question. They got to ask it, but.
Well, the good thing is he's not going to be playing Aaron Donald and I forget the other guy's name off the top of my head, but he won't be playing them every week. That was both teams had fumble recoveries. It was a great watch. I was thoroughly entertained. I really was.
So those guys are locks. I mean, those teams are locks for the playoffs. I mean, I don't know if they lose another game the rest of the season, either of them. But I don't know. I really think New Orleans could knock off the Rams. I'm nervous because they already did it, and they seem to play the similar game as the Chiefs.
I think either one would be good. Chiefs Saints or Chiefs Rams. I'd sign me up for either one of those. The Chiefs have to be in the AFC. They have to be. If it's any other team, I'm going to lose a lot of interest in that. I want to see that team in the Super Bowl. I really do.
I don't even.
You asked me last week. Yeah, you asked me last week. Was there any team that I root for if the Giants are out of it? And I told you no, and that's mostly true. But I'm starting to come around. I'm like, I really like to watch this Chiefs team play.
Well, and I've had a soft spot for Andy Reid ever since he blew the Super Bowl with Donovan McNabb all those years ago in the Eagles.
Did you see that thing they showed yesterday with the punt, pass, and kick when he was 13 years old? He looked like a 20-year-old man.
I did not.
Oh, Bud probably saw it, right?
Yeah, I think he had a mustache.
They must have shown it 3 or 4 times. It was absolutely hilarious. He just towered over these other 13-year-old kids.
Wow.
It was like 1971, I think it was in.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, it was absolutely hilarious. So that was a good way to end the week. That was a good way to end my week because not only did I win fantasy, which usually I don't lose because my team is absolutely stacked, but we won 2 in a row.
Yes.
I'm happy. And I told you during the week, we have nothing else to root for because chances are they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to start drinking the Kool-Aid because OBJ said it 2 weeks ago. We're going to run the table, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, well, whatever." Okay, well now we're 2 wins in here, and you look at the rest of their schedule with Tennessee. You got to play the Eagles again, the Skins and the Cowboys. You get the Colts. There's no maybe the Bears, but Mitchell Trubisky is actually hurt right now. He might not even play Thursday, so that remains to be seen.
Yeah, but that's a third thing. I mean, you got a week and a half until then, and the Bears' defense is.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Lights out.
I was going to say that the Bears' defense is the only thing that scares me in the next 6 games.
I mean, barring the Giants continuing to get better, they're not going to beat the Colts or the Bears. Those teams are just rolling. So
the Giants play the Colts in Indianapolis. That's true. Well, they are.
The Colts. I mean, now the Colts could take a step back to where they started the year, and the Bears could level out because they've been playing over their heads. But Trubisky's not the reason they're winning. He's just helping.
He's played well though. He's played a lot better than people think.
Really well.
He actually has the same stats, actually maybe a little better than what Carson Wentz had last year, and everyone was falling over themselves as Carson Wentz being the MVP. Trubisky's numbers are actually better than Carson Wentz's at this point in the season.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But no one's talking about it.
No. Well, it's because there's other players that are playing better.
That's true. You have Mahomes putting up 6 touchdowns a game, but Trubisky's actually doing better than all these quarterbacks are doing better than Wentz.
I will say, Trubisky year one last season reminds me a lot of Sam Darnold year one this year. He was like completely forgettable. He kind of just held the ship, kind of found his footing. So I'd be intrigued. Now, they changed coaches, and the Jets are probably going to do the same. So I'm intrigued. The Bears excite me because they had an up-and-coming defense last season. I see the parallels. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. But your Giants, they have to win their 3 divisional games, period.
Agreed. They literally have to win out. They can afford maybe one loss. I know you were talking about your article. You were writing that maybe you have them at 8-8 or
I had them at 7-9 at the end of the season. So
that puts them 4-2 for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And I mean, I felt like I was being a little generous having them beat – I think I had them beat Dallas and Philadelphia, obviously. But they lost – I had them lose one of the 3 divisional games.
Well, they're 0-3 in the division currently. So,
yeah.
I mean, they have to go 3-3 even – and then they have to hope for the teams that are above them to at least come back to the top. I mean, if they all end up with the same record, which I guess is possible.
It's tough because they play each other so much. Like I had 2 8-8s and 2 7-9s. I guess you could swing a game and maybe all 4 of them could be 8-8. That'd be a crazy tiebreaker scenario.
So the best case scenario for me this week, and we'll go right back to the Bucs game, but this week is the Dallas beating the Redskins, which I think is going to happen, and the Giants have to beat Philadelphia because that puts both the Cowboys and the Redskins at 6-4, and then it puts Philadelphia and the Giants at 4-7. They're only 2 games back.
5 and 4-7.
Yeah, they're only 2 games back.
At 4-7. Are they 4-6 right now? Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yep. So you're only 2 games back in the division when you were 1-7 3 weeks ago. It's just it's incredible that they even had this opportunity. And I know we're going to start hearing the NFC least and all those jokes, but there's always one year every division sucks. It was the AFC South last year. A couple years before, Seattle was really good. It was the NFC West was really bad for a while. So it's what it didn't Seattle win it at 7-9 one year. So
I could see that.
Dallas division has to suck. And if it wasn't for the Patriots being so good, the AFC East might be crap for the last few years. But the Patriots have kind of
10 years. But so the Cowboys are a little handicapped because they got to play New Orleans and Indianapolis, and I don't think they're better. It can be either one of those teams.
No, the Cowboys are one-dimensional. Zeke is the only dimension they have. Don't give me Cooper because that's ridiculous. Dak Prescott doesn't scare you either. They're very one-dimensional. The last time Dallas played Washington, I think he had 14 or 15 carries for 20 yards. I mean, he was shut down last week or the last time they played him, and I think they're going to do it again because the Redskins' defense is still good.
Yeah, I'm rooting for your Giants. I really think this is Washington Cowboys. I'm writing off the Eagles completely because they just look terrible.
I can't believe I actually have to root for the Cowboys this week, but I kind of have to. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. The Eagles secondary is just, they are a nightmare.
The Saints were toying with them. What was that 4th and 9 play to Kamara when he scored a touchdown? I mean, they were literally just playing with them the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was a great watch. I mean, right from the first snap, you knew that they were in trouble. And fantasy wise, I love it because I'm sitting there with Kamara. So, but let's at least. I don't have a lot of chance to do this because we suck and have had 3 wins this year. But I know Bud's going to tell me that the defense did not show up. But give the offense credit because I know they did, and you're gonna.
Yeah.
I know you'll debate me on that, but I'm more impressed with the actual offense. I think he only got sacked 4 times, but they put up another almost 30 points. And I said this a lot last year. The line doesn't have to be good. Just don't suck. Be okay. Be mediocre. Be below average. Just don't be pitiful and be all the awful words, whatever you want to describe them, whatever adjective you wanted to use for the first 7 weeks. Just don't suck. Just be competent. And I've seen that the last 2 weeks.
So let me ask you this, because the Giants pretty much shut down Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then Winston comes in and starts lighting it up, and that's where the comeback came from. The Jets have been claiming for weeks that every time they play a quarterback they didn't, quote, prepare for, that's why they're getting burned. The Giants shut down the starter, and then they got burned by the backup, who they probably didn't prepare for.
Yeah.
I don't think we're giving any credibility to that, but this game kind of speaks to maybe there's something to it.
Well, that game. Well, there's two things for that game. One, the Giants always seem to have a 2-score lead. They're always up by about 10 or 14 points the whole game. I know there was a point in the fourth quarter where it got down to a 3-point game.
Yeah.
But then the Giants took a 5-play drive and went right down the field, 70-something yards. So, they gave up a lot of points, but they were never really in doubt of really losing that game, except for that one moment when Winston hit. Was it Evans? But whoever in the back of the end zone there.
Yeah.
But I felt for the most part that game was pretty much in hand for the most part, which, again, was great to see.
Well, the Giants were in control, but they never shut the door on the Tampa Bay. And
That is true.
I mean, where did Winston – when Winston came out of nowhere, out of mothballs, they fired him, basically benched him. And then Fitzpatrick was so bad that they had to bring him back. That team's – that's just a mess for them. But
Well, don't forget, the Tampa Bay offense is still good. They put up 48 points against the Saints, too. So this isn't like the first time they've done this all year. They actually have a really good offense.
They just didn't have a quarterback that could not – all their quarterbacks turned the ball over. So
yeah. Isn't it amazing how they keep going back and forth between Winston and Fitzpatrick? It's like you can't do that. That's that old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any. And they clearly don't have any.
Well, the Jets have been there. This is one of the most dysfunctional teams. So that the Giants should have won, and they did win, which is a real credit to their veteran leadership, I think, because it's easy to lose a game like that, especially the other team's coming back. It's easy to lose, and they didn't. So, I mean, I got to give them credit.
If this game was 5 weeks ago, they would have lost it. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
So,
Still gave up 510 yards of offense.
I know. Here's Mr. Negativity over here.
I'm not being negative, Bill. I'm just saying that you beat a crappy football team. That's all I'm saying is that you beat a bad football team that has no quarterback, no identity, and
I'm okay with that.
They have one of the bottom feeder defense in the league, and they have the top-rated offense. I mean, towards the end of the game, you can't even tell me that you sat there with comfort and said they're going to win.
I said the drive when they cut it down to 3, then I was like, oh boy, we got something. But then they drove down the field in 5 plays and scored a touchdown. So.
Well, yes.
That was the only moment I had.
So we all knew this. The Giants had
and Barkley went nuts.
Easy second half of their schedule because of teams like Tampa Bay, who are pretty bad. Now
we already went through the gauntlet of the schedule in the first 7 games. Now we finally get there was no cupcake games in those first 7 weeks. All of our cupcake games are now essentially.
Well,
you have the benefit of losing quarterbacks and the Eagles aren't playing well, so you're getting a lot of breaks along the way. Don't get me wrong, but listen, you need breaks to win in this league sometimes.
Well, we said in the beginning of the year the first 7 games were brutal, and if they could get out of those, even at 3 and 4, the back end of the schedule would be so much better. But they weren't even. So now you just got to play catch up, and.
Yeah, no, I said you got to win. You got to win every game. That's it. You maybe have one more step, one more blunder to go, but I think they have to win them all.
They can win the division at 8-8. I mean, I really believe that that's going to be an 8-8 division winner, just because they play each other so much. I see no way the Giants can stop Andrew Luck, so they got to win the rest of their games. I think that Colts game is their
not the way he's been playing. I mean, he
throws the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah, but he's also proven a lot of people wrong. I mean, you and me, Phil, both said that he was not going to have a good year this year, and he is.
I did. I don't remember that.
He's come back like a champ. That organization stuck behind him. That's real admirable after the double shoulder injuries. I mean.
I also think that if the Colts were any good last year, he would have played. But they had no reason to bring him back last year.
No.
So he would have been. If he had to play, if they were some sort of a way on the fringe of the playoffs, he would have played. He would have been fine.
That's a nice transition because I don't think there's any way Sam Darnold steps on the field this weekend for the Jets because they have nothing to play for. Why would they risk his injury?
Because it's the Jets.
No, come on, don't say that. No.
Well, so you're gonna roll the rest of the year with McCown for the next 6 games?
No. But if he's not 100%, he didn't practice Monday. Why they're not? Why
injury? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, you're playing the injury card. I get you.
I mean, he was in a walking boot. I mean, I take it that I think there's something to it. I don't think you just put him in a boot for. Posterity.
I agree with you, but. I mean, you know what this franchise does. There's no need to play him the rest of the year. However, the only way that he's going to learn anything is to play.
No. He should absolutely play. I don't think he should play this weekend if he's not because it doesn't seem like he's healthy yet. I don't think he should play through the pain.
This game on Sunday is going to be a dumpster fire.
Let me look at the line. While you talk, I'm going to check out the line.
So what's the line, Phil?
I'm going to look while you're talking.
I know that the Patriots coming off a bye are like 30-1 Belichick or something crazy like that. They've only ever lost once or twice after a bye week. I know it's stats ridiculous. Now the Jets are coming off a bye too. These teams know each other really well. I don't know. I don't know what I'm watching for.
All right. What do you think it is? Dan, do you know what it is already?
I don't. I haven't looked. I would guess Jets plus 16.
Bud?
I'm going to go Jets. I don't think it's as high as 16. I'm going to go Jets plus 12.
Jets plus 9.5.
9.5. Oof.
Well, it's a Jets home game too. Don't forget. If it was in Foxborough, maybe it goes to 12.
That's 12. That's your 12. That's generous. I think
I don't think they're even going to come close to that number.
Now,
this game's got 40-3 written all over it like it was a couple of years ago.
Okay, so what if we get the Jets defense from a few weeks ago against Miami where they held them to 2 field goals? What if that defense comes back? Because that defense is still – we still have that defense. They just haven't played like it the last couple of weeks.
Well, are all your receivers healthy? Are all the receivers healthy?
For who?
For the Jets.
What receivers? They have none.
That's what I'm saying. No, you asked what happens if they hold them to 6 points, and I'm saying who's healthy on the Jets side?
Is there any report on Gronkowski?
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't think he's playing. I think he's out.
Well, it hasn't really mattered, to be quite honest, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like their offense misses him too much. I mean, he's got Josh Gordon now. He's got Edelman back.
So they got smoked by Tennessee, who was not very good, and I just think. Now, I'm not suggesting the Jets are going to beat the Patriots. What I am suggesting is I'm seeing the chinks in this Tom Brady-led Patriots armor. They are not as good as they have been. And, like, that they were not competitive against Tennessee, who was not competitive against Indianapolis. Now, I know each week is individual. I don't like what I've seen from the Patriots this year. I know they're 7-3. They're probably going to finish with only 4 losses, maybe 5. I don't know.
But they're like we always say, they're 7-3 because they got 6 guaranteed wins every year because they got to play.
Right.
They crush the AFC East every year. Right off the bat, they're 6-0. So I mean,
and I know they're always looking towards the playoffs, especially that they're an older team. They only care about the playoffs and getting to the playoffs, but they're not going to have the number 1 seed. They're not going to be going through Foxborough. They're going to have to go to Pittsburgh or go to Kansas City, and I don't know. I mean, this could be an early exit for them this year, which is kind of exciting. But
how about Pittsburgh coming back from the dead on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
What killed them in the first half? I mean, what happened to them?
It was Ben was throwing intercept. I think he threw 3 interceptions in the first half.
2 to Ramsey.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Jacksonville's still got glimmers of
their falling. I mean, I think
So
shame on me. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year. They're not close.
Well, they went from worst to first to worst, but I could easily see them being on top of that division again next year if they get a top 10 pick to add to their stacked team. They just need a quarterback.
If they had Leonard Fournette all year, they would be a different team. Because Leonard Fournette has been back for 2 games, and he's putting up great numbers. He's a threat out of the backfield to catch the ball. That's really what their team was built around last year. Really good defense and a really good running game and just mediocre quarterback play. That team will only go as far as Blake Bortles takes him, and he's not good enough.
Well, they don't have any wide receivers. Last year they had Allen Hurns and the other Allen. I'm blanking on his name.
He got hurt last year. He got hurt like week 1.
But they don't have any receivers right now because they traded. They let one go, and like they don't even have a tight end to speak of. I mean. There's a lot of
Jenkins got hurt. They signed him, and he tore his, I think like his rib cage or something. That's something crazy, and he's put on IR, so he's done.
So there's a real lack of receiver depth in the league right now, and I don't know who's going to be there's not a lot of free agents coming up. Like the Jets are desperate need, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are desperate need of receivers. The Patriots kind of patch things together too
every year.
So. I don't know what happened to the receiver depth because it was really strong like a season or 2 ago. I guess these guys got old, but Somebody's gonna have to step up.
It's back to a running back league again. Gurley, Hunt, Barkley, Kamara, Ingram. I mean, it's back to a running back league.
Well, not really.
But then you look at how these quarterbacks are playing too. I mean,
the rules are geared for the offense.
Those are by far running back, quarterback, defensive end are the three most important positions on a football team right now. And if you don't have three solid, you're shot. I mean, the Giants have a solid running back. Their quarterback play is shoddy, and they have no one to get to the quarterback. But then you look at the Rams, and they have two great defensive ends. They have an all-world running back, and their quarterback is lights out. Same deal with Kansas City. Kansas City's missing that defensive end, but they just outscore everybody offensively. Travis Kelce had an off night, and he still had like 120 yards receiving.
And a touchdown. Yeah.
He had two big drops last night too.
Big drops last night. Hit him right in the hands.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm guessing neither of you are optimistic about the Jet Patriot game on Sunday, huh?
I'm optimistic about them keeping it competitive. I don't think they're going to win. But
is it going to be competitive?
That California sun must be something else, Dan. I'll tell you.
They just legalized marijuana over in Massachusetts over here. I don't know what you're –
They legalized it 2 years ago. Now they're finally selling it. They dragged their feet like nothing.
It's funny because all the people that are in line for that have their own stash anyway, so it's not like they need to go out and buy it. They're just doing it to do it.
There's a line on I-91 just to get into Massachusetts.
That's what I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's so funny.
Everyone's heading to Springfield.
All right, so I got the line for the Giants game. Eagles are -6.
Huh.
Interesting.
I'd take the Giants +6 because I think it's gonna be a close game. So
I'm gonna take them to win outright.
So the Eagles are favored by 6.
Yes.
Well, they're home, right?
Yeah, they're home.
Yeah, so they got 3 to start, but
I meant to stop by the store today and buy a package of Kool-Aid so I can hold it up while I'm talking, but I forgot. So
that's all right.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because I got nothing else to root for.
Okay.
What the hell? Let's do it. Run the table.
I think the Giants beat the Eagles. They're playing better than them right now. And Barkley's just out of this world. I don't think the Eagles can stop him. I mean,
Barkley had like 200 all-purpose yards on Sunday. It just
and 3 touchdowns.
So there was an article that was out the other day how Shermer wanted him to get those dirty yards, and not just try and hit home runs all the time. And he said the last 2 games he's been trying it, and look at the results. I mean, he's been borderline unstoppable. So keep that going. Keep it going.
I agree.
Give me something to root for on Sunday because God knows it hasn't been a good season so far. So if I had to suffer through 1-7 to run the table, I know it's a pipe dream, but hey, it still could happen. Give me something to root for.
Are both games on at the same time?
I think they're. Let's see.
Are they both 1:00 games?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, they're both 1:00 games. Yeah.
For years they never used to put the Jets against the Giants, and now it seems like the past couple of years they just keep doing it. How am I going to watch both games?
So, you know what?
You need 2 TVs.
The Jets have been at 1:00.
I'm doing that in this house with Lori.
The Jets have every game this season but one is a 1:00 game for the Jets. I think it was like same as last year.
They have one 4:30 game against
Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah, against Tennessee.
And then the one Thursday night game. So they've had no primetime games at all. Don't count Thursday because everyone plays Thursday.
They opened the season on Monday Night Football.
That's right. All right, they did.
That was their best game of the year.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Everybody fell out of their seat when they saw that.
We suffered through 3 and 7 to run the table.
Darnold was in the Hall of Fame after the first half of that game.
I give him a chance.
He'll be better next year once they get a new coach. Look how it works out. Jared Goff, on his rookie year, everyone thought he was a waste, and then they brought in McVay and an offensive-minded coach and changed the culture and the philosophy of the team and the coaching and everything. And he's putting up ridiculous numbers. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be Sam Darnold, but what I'm saying is that the same thing that I've been saying for weeks. This coaching staff is not.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's not the right coaching staff. It's just that simple. And if you got to put somebody, the Jets finally have to hire somebody who is an offensive-minded coach instead of a defensive-minded coach, and let's put together a team. Go get Le'Veon Bell, go get a receiver, go get a defensive end, You got $100 million in cap space. Spend it. Let's go. Let's try to do something, because until that happens, I'm sorry to say it, but it's the same old Jets. It's going to be the same exact stories. You're going to lose to the Patriots by 30 points. That's just what's going to happen.
I would love for them to get an offensive-minded coach. I enjoyed Rex Ryan for a couple of years, and the defenses were great, but this is not that league anymore. Like, we need an offensive coach so bad. Like, we have the defensive players to complement that person. And they'll bring in a good defensive coordinator if they don't keep the guys they have on staff, but I am fully on board there. They've been throwing around a couple of college coaches, like the Oklahoma coach. I don't know him well enough. I don't know if he's offensive-minded or not. So I'm really intrigued to see who the candidates are. But they're actually
maybe if Alabama wins the national title again, Nick Saban will get bored. Like, I need a better challenge.
So the two names that I heard, and I know these are just pipe dreams, are Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh. Because if John Harbaugh loses another couple games, he's gonna get fired.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not really keen on him. I would love Jim Harbaugh.
Ooh.
But you're gonna have to pay him a boatload of money, because he's making like $13 million a year in Michigan.
You better hope Michigan doesn't make the playoff.
Michigan's gonna make the playoff, dude.
No, I'm just maybe
they got one more game to play, and it's against Ohio State. Ohio State does not look good.
That's a pro con, because he's a nutcase, but he will whip.
He's great with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that's really what we need.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
and he's not bad. He's not bad defensively either. I mean, when he was the coach of the 49ers, the year before he got there, they were terrible. And the 3 or 4 years, if it wasn't him butting heads with the GM and the owner,
oh yeah,
he'd still be there.
I agree, and Kaepernick might be too. Yeah. Well, the Jets is a pretty appealing opportunity compared to some of the other ones that are likely open, because they've got a good young core. So I'll be intrigued to see who they get. They got a lot of options. I don't know.
Well, they got a good young core, and they have a lot of money, so that it opens up, kind of that, the flexibility of trying to put together their team rather than inheriting a team that's not very good.
Right. So before we run out of time here, let's give some playoff predictions, because we got six weeks left. Yeah, 6 weeks left. This is the stretch run, and I think there's like 2 spots in each league that are locked up. I mean, Patriots and the Chiefs are a lock, and the Rams and the Saints are a lock.
Chargers are a lock too.
You like the Chargers as a lock?
Chargers are a lock.
I mean, they're a wild card lock, I guess.
Yeah, they lost this week, but that was kind of, a last-second field goal. I would lock in the Steelers too. I don't think anybody in the AFC North is going to get, especially the way that they're playing right now.
So then that leaves only 1 spot open in the AFC?
2.
Oh, 2. Oh, right. The AFC.
Yeah, if Houston wins again this weekend, they're locked, because then they would be 8-3. And
yeah. So this is what happened last season in the AFC, where the Tennessee and Buffalo kind of like fell into the playoffs, even though they didn't really deserve it.
And that was the worst playoff game in the history of the league.
Yeah. So then it's 5-5 Miami, or Tennessee, or Cincinnati, or Baltimore.
Cincinnati is nothing without AJ Green. It's incredible how they crumble without him.
I mean, I think that's Baltimore's spot to lose.
Currently, real quick, I just pulled it up. Currently, Baltimore is in the final wild card spot at 5-5.
Okay, they have the tiebreaker. Okay,
they own the tiebreaker against Cincinnati.
Okay.
Don't sleep on Indianapolis. If Indianapolis can put together some stretch, their defense is playing better. The fact that they got Mack back has been tremendous for their offense. I wouldn't sleep on them. I mean, they could slip in the wild card.
I forgot about them, but no, that like Jets loss is almost an aberration on their schedule right now. I totally think they're in play.
Who's leading the AFC South right now?
AFC South is Houston.
They're like,
and that's the same one that the Colts are in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Indianapolis is in the South, so okay. But anyway.
They have a 2-game lead on Indianapolis.
Yeah, so. That's pretty strong. So then the NFC, I mean, I don't think the Packers make the playoffs. I'm not even sure the Vikings are going to get in now. I really thought they would, but I'm questioning.
Minnesota holds the 6th spot. and that's only because they have a tie, so they have a slightly higher winning percentage. Yeah. Seattle is in the next team.
I think Seattle might squeak back into the playoffs yet again. I really was waiting for them to like finally trail off, and they aren't doing it.
It's all Russell Wilson with smoke and mirrors.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Who else is it? So it's Seattle, the Niners, the Rams. No, the Rams are in that division.
Right.
Seattle's not making the playoffs. I don't think Seattle.
They're up for a wild card against the Panthers, who are crashing and burning, and
They've been awful the last 2 weeks.
Minnesota, Green Bay.
You know, it's funny. Remember we sat here last week and said Carolina's a quiet 6-2 or whatever they were, and there's a reason they're quiet, because if you give them any mainstream media, they crumble without it.
Do you think Cam Newton's going to miss some time? I mean, I think he came back into the game, but that was a brutal hit he took.
As far as I know, he's playing, so I haven't heard anything that he wasn't playing. So
all right. Well, before we get cut off, any final thoughts on you guys? The Bears, I think, are making it. I think the Bears are in.
The Bears are in the 3 spot at 7-3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end this with and everything that I post now with hashtag run the table. Let's do it. Until I'm proven wrong, we're running the table.
Jets lose by 24.
So lay the 9.5 points.
Yeah, I think.
All right. I'll let you know on Sunday.
Tell you to bet on the Jets games. There's not a chance they keep it within 9.5 points. Not a chance. Oh. Especially if Josh McCown plays. Not a chance.
Oh, if McCown plays, I'm all on board. If McCown plays, bet on the Patriots.
All right. Well, before we get cut off, we'll reconvene next week.
Yes, we will.
Thanksgiving.
I would like to remember the butt fumble because I will never forget it. I'll give you the story next week because we're going to run out of time. But I will never forget where I was when that happened. It was humiliating. I was with a bunch of Patriots fans. My wife's entire family. It was awful.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.
Woo.